Strangely enough, I think some of these almost deadly sins actually hint at or maybe directly state some of the deadly sins as well. So turning to the deadly sins of software estimation then, deadly sin number one has to be confusing targets with estimates. In the software industry, we find that we do a lot of target setting. That is to say, we do a lot of business planning where we say it would be really great if we had this amount of capability available by this particular date. Or where we say we have to be in compliance with a certain regulatory requirement by a certain date, or we have to be ready for a trade show by a particular date. Now those are all valid business statements, but those are not estimates, those are targets. And those targets need to be rationalized through, or the ability to hit those targets needs to be rationalized through analytical estimation. The fact that we need to be there by a particular date or with certain functionality does not mean that we're able to be there by a certain date with a certain functionality, no matter how important it is. And if we don't actually go through the analytical process of estimating what our capability is to actually hit those targets, then we really undermine our actual ability to hit the targets as best we can or to plan effectively toward those targets. And so interestingly enough, while in the software industry we do lots and lots of target setting, our consulting practice as well as the classes we teach has convinced me that in practice very little real analytical estimation is done. We do a lot of planning to hit targets, but a lot of times that planning is not supported by very good estimation, and the plans are only as good as the estimation foundation they're built on, so that turns out to be problematic. So key practice, rule of thumb, I think, is that target setting clearly is a part of estimation. We can't estimate in a vacuum. We have to know what the important business targets are so that we can plan toward them. But if you're in a technical position or a technical leadership position, when someone asks you for an estimate, recognize that sometimes they truly are asking for what we would normally call an estimate. Sometimes they're asking for a plan to hit a target, or sometimes they're just asking for a commitment. We'd really like you to commit to delivering this functionality by this particular date. And that discussion goes sideways pretty quickly if you don't recognize which of those things you're really being asked for, regardless of whether the words actually say estimation. A lot of times the words and the meaning don't actually line up.